It's your boy Magic with the mic again, man. I'm back again. Uh, I had to do this one real quick because I'm just mind blown about this whole Francis Ngannou thing, man. Like, I read about it. I think last night it might have came out, maybe like the night before, but whatever. Like I seen about it, but I didn't really look into it, see what really happened and stuff. But that's what we about to get into right now. So let's go. This was something that I was looking. This was something that I was looking forward. Like I was looking forward to them fighting. But see, so
After Francis Ngannou announced he would leave the UFC if it doesn't get a wage raise, Dana White responded saying, "If you don't want to stay with us, no problem." Sounds like there's drama going down between the UFC champ and Dana White. You're going to want to hear about this. Let's dive into it. Things aren't getting any better. According to White's most recent statements, things between them haven't gotten any better. These things, according to White, happen. Sometimes you don't agree with people, he said, before shifting his aim towards Ngannou management team, stating that when you're a fighter, you have to be cautious who represents you. That he doesn't think Nagano has had the finest representation. White and Nagano's manager have had public squabbles in the past. Interestingly, Nagano is represented by Creative Artist Agency, CAA, a large Hollywood and sports agency that also happens to be long-term competitors with his
man,
bosses at Endeavor. Next, Dana White not open to discussing new contract. Manager Nagano Markle Martin, who
yeah, I kind of get that. Like I feel like I get that. You know, like I get why if that's really why. Like I feel like I always stuff like this. I always feel like there's always deeper than what the surface shows. Like, there's always something deeper going on, but they never really tell you the full story. You know what I mean? So, or they twist it up and shit. So, but you never know, man. But I always feel like stuff like this is always like deeper than what they're saying. But I can understand somebody wanting a pay raise, especially for the UFC, because I know Dana White makes hella bread. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
agency CAA competes directly with UFC parent firm Endeavor, notified ESPN that talks on a new deal had not been restarted. Martin recently stated that despite wishing to sign a new contract, he hasn't spoken of the promotion in 6 months. Dana White, president of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, downplayed the disagreement, saying it was up to Nagano to decide whether or not to continue, and that if he wants to be with them, they will be pleased to see him, and if he doesn't want to be with them, then it's no problem for the UFC regardless. Nagano was not pleased with these comments in the least. He claimed that the opportunity to box must be included in every new contract he signs. He and
hmm.
heavyweight boxing champion Tyson Fury have discussed a possible battle, and Fury's management, Top Rank, has accepted the idea. White's comments, however,
Oh,
seem to contradict the promotion's actions. It doesn't appear that things
so seems to me like he wants to step out of UFC, and he's probably going to step in the ring with Tyson Fury. That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like. What's going to happen to me? That's what it seems like. That's what it sounds like from what I'm hearing right now. They're gonna fight. He's gonna go with boxing. He might just become a boxer. He could be. He could. I think he might just become a boxer. But there's a good chance that he's doing. He's pulling a what the hell? What the hell's his name? Oh my gosh, he's one of the biggest fighters ever to ever do it. I can't even remember his name for a second. Having a brain fart. Holy shit. He's pulling a Conor McGregor. Holy shit. I apologize. Like what the fuck? But yeah.
will be no problem with them if Nagano goes. His initial contract was supposed to expire in May, but despite the fact that he has not signed a new contract, UFC has been prolonging it through the use of contentious stipulations in his contract. Nagano won the UFC Heavyweight Championship in March 2021. 3 months later, though,
You don't
UFC
mind. I know.
decided
I
to
know.
book an interim heavyweight title, which Cyril Gagne currently holds. championship rematch between Ngannou and Gagne is presently scheduled for UFC 270 on January 22nd. It'll be fascinating to watch not just who wins that exciting matchup, but also how Ngannou's contract issue plays out following that fight. Let's dive into talks with ESPN. On Thursday, Ngannou told ESPN that he feels he would have fulfilled his current UFC contract when he fights interim champion Cyril Gagne. He is aware, however, that the champion's blunder may cause his next move to be delayed. Whatever the case may be, the only one certainty he has is that everything must change. When asked if he would compete under the terms of an extended UFC contract, Ngannou stated that he will no longer fight for $500,000 or $600,000. He indicated that this was it, that it was all over, that he only did it because he agreed to this fight.
Wait a minute. $500,000 a fight, bro. You're getting $500,000 every time you fight. You're getting over $500,000 every time you fight, and you're ungrateful for that. I mean, I get why you would feel that way, because you probably feel like you're worth more. But if somebody paid me $500,000, I'd go in there and fight one of them motherfuckers and let them niggas knock me the fuck out. Oh well, get that. Let me get that $500,000. Thank you. Fuck you talking about? Real shit.
For personal reasons. But he wants to ensure that regardless of how wrong it is, that he was treated unfairly and that he can prove that he finished 8 bouts. Now the contract with UFC. Prior to his first heavyweight title fight against Stipe Miocic,
And I'll do that shit one time.
20, Ngannou stated in December 2017 that he has signed a 5-year contract with the UFC. He did, however, claim that the champion clause in his contract states that if he holds the title when it expires, he'd be associated with a company within a year or 3 fights. According to Ngannou, all of this leads him to conclude that it is an option. Given the overall length of the contract and the champion clause, Ngannou was dubious of his condition, alleging at one point that he would not have a contract until January 2023 since the UFC global contract cannot endure 5 years from start to finish. According to Ngannou, the UFC contract is quite complex, which is why he signed a 40-month contract, only to discover 4 years later that he still needs to deal with it, even if he was active. Standard UFC contracts frequently include a fee provision. Also allows the organization to extend contracts by 6 months if a fighter is unable to accept a proposed contest due to injury or other circumstances. Ngannou withdrew out of a title fight against Derek Lewis at UFC 265 earlier this year due to scheduling conflicts. The UFC subsequently booked a fight between Gagne, his old training partner, Lewis, as an interim championship event. Ngannou wants to keep boxing. Ngannou's desire for the chance to engage in a boxing match against either Deontay Wilder or fellow ESPN and BT Sport fighter Fury has been a major sticking point in the contract discussions. In recent weeks, the Gypsy King has been active on social media offering to wear 4-ounce gloves if Ngannou agrees to a bout. When asked if he wanted to box, Ngannou answered emphatically that he did, and that they have been talking about it for years and look to be in accord. He stated that if he were to be honest, he believes that whatever is happening, whatever the event is, if the UFC is involved, it'll undoubtedly make it bigger. He has no doubt about that. So he'd like for the UFC to be on board. He's perplexed as to why they can't come to an agreement, claiming that the only reason they're here is that this was not handled in good faith at some point. However, he indicated that he was unsure what to make of the stock's current level of interest. He noted that although sometimes he can respond yes, other times he simply doesn't know. Now in other news, Katlyn Chookagian, a former UFC flyweight championship contender, expressed hope that she will still have a future in the UFC despite disclosing that the organization rejected to give her a new contract prior to her UFC Vegas 46 victory on Saturday night. Chookagian's last fight on her current contract was a strong performance in which she won a unanimous decision against Jennifer Maia for her 3rd straight victory. Following that, she expressed her amazement that the UFC chose not to discuss a new contract with her ahead of time, which means she's now a free agent. Let's talk about Henry Cejudo. As their social media battle continues, Henry Cejudo has backed up a long-held claim by Conor McGregor of having a terrible cardio. Cejudo slammed UFC President Dana White on social media for dismissing a prospective featherweight championship fight against Alexander Volkanovski so quickly. In his jab at White, he appeared to also wonder why he hasn't given the same treatment as McGregor. prompting the Irish Star to respond by calling Cejudo a fart. McGregor has been criticized for having weak cardio in the past, notably following his battles with Nate Diaz and Khabib Nurmagomedov. The Irish Star punched himself out in the first round of his fight with Diaz.
So it seems like they're doing this to a lot of these UFC fighters then. But I mean, there's people that aren't complaining about this stuff, so I'm not saying like everybody's entitled to feel how they feel, you know. So, and that's crazy. But I'm gonna stop the video right there, man, because I didn't want it to go off into other fighters and stuff. Like I let it go a little bit. That's because it kind of caught me off guard a little bit. But yeah, man, like, sheesh. I was looking forward to that fight with John Jones and him, but you know it is what it is, you know. But that's all for this video, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the situation. Do you think it's deeper than this? Do you think it's petty for him to feel this way, or you know what I mean, or whatever? It's just however you feel about the situation. If you care, if you don't, you know what I mean, you know, all that. So, all right, let's match it with the mic. Peace out.